Peace and gratitude, family, and welcome to another episode here on Cosmic Cell Foods, where we focus on entrepreneurship, health, and spiritual evolution. In today's video, we're going to be talking about our true connection to the cosmos, physical manifestation, as well as our cellular upgrade. There's a lot of things changing within this field of the universe that our galaxy is flying through at this point. So we need to be able to have the tools that we need mentally to be able to easily take advantage of these upgrades so we can use these upgrades properly as we evolve. We're going to get into the multiple dimensions that exist, how we have access to those dimensions subatomically, and how to use the error correcting codes of the universe, Adinkra codes, properly. This video will definitely help you evolve and begin to walk in your true power. So let's get into it. All right, family, so now let's first talk about the different dimensions of existence. So now when we talk about the first dimension, for example, draw a line on the paper, you see that this is length. This is just one structure, one line, length. Now when we talk about 2D, say you draw a house on that paper, now we have length times width. So by connecting two lines together, we have length times width. So now we have length and width, that's two dimensions. So these are two dimensions that we can visually analyze. Now when it goes to 3D, we add length times width times height. So we take that drawing that we did and put it in the computer and make a 3D model out of it. Now we have length times width times height. We can interpret now these three different dimensions. Now when we talk about the fourth dimension, we have length times width times height. Now we add space, we add spirit into the mix. So there's many different dimensions on different levels. And what I mean by this is we have physical dimensions, we have dimensions spiritually within ourselves as well. And one example that I love to give of this all the time is the box example. Say you were a box, but you can only analyze yourself from inside of the box. You don't know what's going on the outside of you. You can't interpret any of that. Your only awareness is on that one-dimensional aspect of yourself, spiritually or mentally, that one-dimensional aspect of yourself. So now let's say you realize you're the box. So you understand what's in the box. You understand your inner self. And now you want to understand what's going on the inside of you, but also interpret yourself as this physical box on the outside. This is two dimensions of analyzing your reality. Now to take it to another level, you can in tune with who you are on the inside and analyze who you are on the outside. And then you can also raise it to that third level of dimension of analyzing what you're doing as a soul in this body. Because when you tune into the inside, that's the spirit. When you tune into the outer side, that's the spirit realizing that's in the body, it's in the container. That's two dimensions of understanding self. Then we go to the third level where you can analyze yourself operating in this physical body as a soul. So that's the third level of consciousness. You can analyze what you're doing while you're in this physical body. Now when it goes to the fourth dimension of understanding self, you have to understand that there's a higher level of yourself that's analyzing yourself. So when we talk about the higher self and how it helps you stay on track with your goals, how it helps you, because it's analyzing yourself being in a body. So we analyze ourselves every day. When we look into the mirror, we're analyzing ourselves in this physical body. So there's a higher spiritual spirit aspect, the fourth dimensional aspect, that's analyzing yourself in this third dimensional form. So when you tune in with that fourth dimensional aspect of yourself, these are four different dimensions. But it started off with the container. It started off with the inside of the box. Then it went to the outside of the box. And you viewing yourself as the box, you viewing yourself in this physical body, this is where we begin to make decisions about what's right and wrong, different things that we should be doing in life to get to specific goals. That's what that third dimensional aspect of self begins to analyze and interpret. But that fourth higher level of yourself, it analyzes the spirit nature of what it is that you're going to be focused on, what it is that you're going to be putting intention into while you're analyzing yourself in this physical box. So when we talk about the fourth dimension, quantum physics points this back to Metatron's cube. So this fourth dimension of realizing spiritual reality, the ancients pointed us to Metatron's cube, which is a quasi crystal. And they said this quasi fourth dimensional crystal, its reflection or its shadow is basically what the third dimension is. So when I explain you analyzing yourself as a third dimensional being, you analyzing yourself as the box, that's the third dimensional aspect. But that fourth dimensional aspect, you can begin to analyze that third dimensional aspect of yourself, of analyzing this physical body, and then tuning in with the inner self and having all four of those online with each other. That's some very powerful stuff. That's some very powerful manifestation, some very powerful understanding of the dimensional aspect of yourself. So I hope that helped you understand a little bit more about what I mean by there's different levels of dimensions when it comes to the physical nature. There's different levels of dimensions when it comes to the spiritual nature as well. So these are some of the mental aspects that we need to be applying to our daily lives so we can evolve and upgrade effectively. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. How we access these multiple dimensions of existence subatomically. We are multidimensional beings. Even quantum physicists have come to understand that there are multiple dimensions and that these dimensions are very tightly stacked on top of each other. So just like those 4 dimensions of self that we broke down in the beginning, we can understand that we can easily access those different realms because they are stacked on top of each other. All we simply have to do to access those different realms of existence is phase shift our frequency, phase shift our vibration, mentally phase shift our subatomic frequency to be able to access those higher realms of existence. So phase shifting your subatomic frequency means changing your mind quickly, transforming. We have to change some patterns in the way that we think. We have to be able to immediately change our frequency. These quantum physicists also theorize that we can travel throughout our universe simply by changing our subatomic frequency to match the location that we want to get to. And this is how a lot of multidimensional beings are traveling in our universe. Our planet and galaxy also has a frequency. It has different octaves of frequency that it emanates. There's different dimensions that exist within our planet. And if you can vibrate your frequency to a high enough level, you can access some of these different realms of existence, some of these different dimensions that exist right here on our planet. So from that example, you can easily see that somebody can phase shift their frequency to match our planet, as well as get even more defined with the subatomic frequency that they're attuning to get to a specific vibration within our planet as well. There's different octaves that you can manifest to, family. This goes really deep. I hope I'm not going over anybody's head. So it is very well possible that multidimensional beings live in, on, and around our planet in different dimensions as well. And maybe some that are even higher up may not even be in the physical body, but the consciousness is definitely there. Another example of this is Adinkra codes. It's the mathematics of the light matrix or dimension in which we live in. These codes are preserved by the Dogon tribe of Mali, and they said they were given to them by the Nomo, who knew how to manipulate their frequency, subatomically shift their frequency to access different dimensions. The Dogon said the Nomo were from a planet that orbited Sirius B, and of course they came here by shifting their subatomic frequency to match the vibration or frequency of our dimension. They told the Dogon about the names, the shapes, the colors of all the planets within our solar system, as well as they knew the density of the dwarf star Sirius B. And NASA didn't know any of this till the 1980s. The physicist Jim Gates studied Adinkra codes closely, and he turned these codes into 3-dimensional objects. And from there he found that the entire ether of space-time is operating on these error-correcting codes, Adinkra codes. Each dimension of existence has error-correcting codes. If not, all of these dimensions could literally collapse within itself, and we would just have a mumbo jumbo of creation falling into the ether of space-time, or everything goes back to the primordial war from which everything came. Like this Adinkra code, for example, represents strength in the mind, body, and soul. It represents humility, wisdom, and learning. So as you can see, if you subatomically shift your vibration, your frequency to this vibration, you effortlessly correct the codes of your manifestations in tune with source creation, in tune with the codes of this light matrix. So that's when we can begin to bend this matrix to our will. Or this Adinkra code, Aya. It symbolizes defiance, resourcefulness, and endurance. If you apply these error correcting codes, you will have more endurance, you'll have more resourcefulness. So you understand this is a dimension of existence that you have to evolve to. You have to vibrate your frequency to this dimension to be able to get to that point. So the Adinkra codes were put here, they're put in place to be able to help us evolve into everything that source creation intended for us to be within this matrix. You can see when the principles of these symbols are applied to your life and your vibration, it corrects the errors which are inevitable within creation. There's light and dark to everything. There's a yin and yang to everything. There's a masculine and feminine virtue to everything. This is the law of duality in which our universe simply operates. We cannot change it. So the error correcting codes are necessary for order to persist. Order within the cosmos, order within our cosmic being, within our universe. Order is necessary, or else it'll be chaos. When it comes to your inward and outward expression to the world, you have to choose that vibration in which you emit. So choose the vibration that's in alignment with the source of all creation, hence error correcting. Our goal here is to bring heaven to earth, and the Adinkra codes definitely help us do that. And lastly, I want to talk about your power and how you can effortlessly walk in it. The same power that created the entire multiverse exists inside of me and you. Even before you become a soul, you must understand that you are spirit. And once you, that spirit, realize that you're in this physical body, that is now a soul. So we must remember who we are from the spirit level and where that individual piece of spirit comes from, the source of all creation. This is what you need to identify yourself with, your spirit nature, not your physical nature, not just even your soul nature, your spirit and the ability that it has. We need to all just come together and realize that we all have pieces to the puzzle. When we put that puzzle together, some beautiful imagery, family, within this matrix. We have to override this programming that's been installed and been given to us to keep us on a certain frequency, to keep us on a certain level, physically, mentally, vibrationally, emotionally, on many different dimensions. Work on your inner self. Work on mastering the 4 levels of yourself. Tune in with the 4th dimensional aspect of yourself that's analyzing you. Analyze yourself 3rd dimensionally. That 4th dimensional aspect of yourself is going to be giving some messages to that 3rd dimensional aspect of yourself to be able to evolve. Because that's all Source wants to do. It wants to get back to itself. It wants to continue to ascend to higher and higher levels of dimension until it reaches back to itself. If we stop hating, pocket watching, and gossiping, if we let that go, we can create one of the most beautiful places of existence. So family, continue your cellular upgrades as this planet continues to speed up. This also goes back into time and particles. If a particle is sped all the way up, it begins to not exist. But because the particles are slowed down, we can analyze, and physical nature is much more prominent. But back in ancient times where things were more sped up, the spiritual realm is what we saw more of. Because everything is speeding back up, the physical realm is slowly but surely starting to dissipate, and the spiritual realm is slowly but surely start to anticipate. We're starting to naturally evolve. The source of all creation is upgrading us, family. What people refer to as God is upgrading us, family. So it's all about tuning in to where our planet is right now and understanding what that has to offer to our inner being, to our physical being, to our spiritual being. And the Adinkra codes help you push towards the mark even more firmly. So until the next video, Cosmic Cell Foods, we out. If you enjoyed this video, it's a probable guarantee that you're gonna like this one as well. So go ahead and give it a gander, and remember to keep it cosmic.